Hi, folks. My name is Danny Almon of AlmonTravel. Thanks for attending on this momentous day in the United States, the presidential election. And those who have signed up and who are unable to attend, the recording will be sent to you over the next couple of days. So just want to introduce myself. Our business has been in business for a little over 17 years now. We specialize in destination weddings. Soon it was all about that. And groups, obviously, if you have small groups, if you have extended family vacations that you want to take, then we certainly are in a position to be able to help you with that. Florida vacations, but mostly what I would call extended family Florida vacations, which would be theme parks and that sort of thing. Caribbean, our expertise in destination weddings has given us a vast knowledge of the different areas down in the Caribbean, which you can use, of course, for individual vacations, what we call FITs, and cruises, those both ocean cruises and river cruises. We also have a specialty in coach tours and have relationships with a number of different companies. And our special company this evening is going to be Collette, who will be doing a presentation on Shades of Ireland. Not limited to that by any stretch, and Andrew, who is going to be doing the presentation for us tonight, will give us a little bit of an idea of what Collette can handle. Travel conditions, well, we know we're not in a situation to really consider too much, at least in the present time, to travel. We're getting warnings, from federal, from provincial, we're getting them from other countries. I'm finding even in other countries they're setting rules and then 2 weeks later changing the rules. So we're in for a bit of the long run here, but these presentations are designed to show you a little bit about what is available when travel becomes safe again. This is the 10th presentation of right now about, I would say 22 that I have scheduled. I've been in touch with a number of different tour operators and asked if they would like to co-host presentations for me. And they've been very happy about that. So this is the next one and will be on the CARP website in several days' time. Also want to make note, and certainly you can pass this along yourselves, we are going to be working on a solo travel segment for those people whose partners can't travel with them, or they are single, widowed, widowered, whatever. We are going to be developing something that will help them to avoid the single supplement, which is something that is a barrier for people who are single and want to travel. Also like to ask if anybody has any suggestions for different destinations that would prove to be popular. I'd be very happy to go after tour operator representatives and have them do presentations on that as well. So please just write me at danny@almontravel.ca and let me know. So the connection that I have with CARP, Canadian Association of Retired Persons, is through Mr. Bill Van Gorder, who is the COO and Chief Policy Officer for CARP National, as well as the founding chair for CARP Nova Scotia, and being the senior spokesperson for CARP in the Maritimes as well. My connection with Bill is twofold. I've booked him several trips and he's been very happy with those. And also I've worked on a charitable foundation with him, one that he has developed and was very successful in the time that it was around for about 4 or 5 years. So we know each other very, very well. I'd like now to introduce Andrew Hau. He's the business development manager for basically all of Ontario. I know it's segmented, Andrew, but it's easier for me to say just mostly Ontario because I don't think there's very much left out. And Collette has many venues for coach tour vacations, but he's going to focus on one this evening. He'll be taking us through a virtual tour of Ireland with Colette's very popular itinerary called Shades of Ireland. So Andrew, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Danny. And thank you all for joining us this evening, especially during the election night. I know, we'll be able to really inspire and go through a very extensive Q&A session if we do need it. We will also talk about what we see happening in the near future in terms of travel and what we have done to combat our current situation. So again, if you have any questions, please write them down. I'll make sure I get a chance to answer them at the end. So first and foremost, I will show you a very quick video of what Collette is all about.
Since 1918, Collette has provided tours that take people around the country and around the world. From our humble beginnings, leading guided bus tours down the East Coast, to luxurious, all-inclusive explorations of some of the world's most exotic locations, we craft unparalleled travel adventures. We are there to help our guests every step of the way on their travel journey. From finding the perfect destination, to securing flights and hotel stays, to creating enriching cultural experiences. All our guests have to worry about is enjoying their trip. Collette is celebrating its 100th year as a family-owned company. We've continued to build our expertise, our connections, and our selection of tours so that we can make all of our guests' travel dreams a reality. It's time to see the world with Collette.
So really what we're all about is providing a unique and a non-cookie cutter service. So first and foremost, what we have is and I mean to the bone, tour managers. What's great about our tour managers is majority of them have been managing these particular tours for over 20 years. And what's great about it is majority of them as well live on location. The great thing about the majority of our tour managers as well is that they really give an extensive knowledge about the history, but as well as how the locals are living at the moment. So really staying in tune with history and subculture as well. So again, we have a 91 satisfaction rate, and that is essential for providing a great service for all of our particular tours. We also have choice on tour. So again, we want to give all the passengers options. So you can either visit the Killarney National Park or the Muckross House Tour. You can go zip lining or hike the hike lava fields in Costa Rica. And this is essential to all of our future tours as well, is offering you choices. What's great about it as well is, just say hypothetically, if you choose a zip lining and the day before you want to switch to the lava fields, you're able to do so. Just connect with your tour manager and they'll be able to transfer your excursion. My favorite part definitely is the culinary inclusions. There's a real emphasis on local cuisine. We also have an authentic culinary inclusions that will essentially give you and you're eating what the locals eat, and essentially what you get is a chance to experience the culture through food. So for example, in Australia, you are going to see and get to dine on the Sydney Harbour Castle cruise, which is not usually part of coach tours itineraries, but we want to make sure that we offer something above cookie cutter. And that's why we've been around for over 103 years. We also have amazing accommodations. So our accommodations are usually a 4-star to 4.5 star, and that's usually dependent on the country. So that's up to that country's standards. What's great about it as well is these hotels are all strategically located. So we really want to maximize the free time of all of our passengers. So, for example, if you get a chance to go to New Zealand or Morocco, or even on the Shades of Ireland tour that we're about to show you, we really get a chance to stay in a lot of boutique hotels. So we want to give you the option to really experience the full enjoyment of the culture. So this is definitely be very important in the future of travel is our industry leading travel protection. So with Collette, you never have to worry about your money. It's all being allocated into a travel protection plan that caters to people of all ages. So what I mean by that is my mom, my grandmother, and myself will all pay the same premium. We don't have any medical questionnaires, and it's one price, and we're not like narrowing down by pre-existing health conditions. And we also have a cancel for any reason waiver. Now, just to steal one of my boss's jokes, what that means is you can cancel your tour up to 24 hours prior to departure for any reason. So if you had a bad haircut, or if you essentially had a bad day at work, or you're not feeling that great or up to traveling just yet, you're able to cancel. So we give you that option where a lot of the tour companies do not. We're also adding flexibility as well. So we give you a chance that's a part of the cancel for any reason waiver to change your date. So if you book with us, and in this current climate, this is definitely very important, you can change your date up to December 31st, 2021, no fees. So that's up to, and that's from 60 days prior to departure. And it gives you a lot of flexibility, especially when it comes to this climate, because honestly, we're all seeing the changes. Every country's situation is changing week by week, but we foresee June, July becoming more steady for travel. But this is just there to give you peace of mind. Now, we are all aware that we're living and we're trying to travel through and post COVID-19 pandemic. And what Collette has done to combat it is launch the Traveling Well experience. This Traveling Well experience gives you an opportunity to have peace of mind. So the first and foremost, the main thing that we're doing is we're making all our coach tours 30 to 35% smaller. So for example, our small group exploration tours usually run between 24 to 25 passengers. Now they will be 14 to 19 passengers depending on destination. Our classic tours usually would have a maximum of 44 passengers. Now we will have about 27 passengers. So we're really trying to ease the passenger's mind and give them the opportunity to social distance on those coach tours. And we're also having pre-tour health screenings. So we're making sure if you have, you don't have any symptoms, or if you had COVID in the past, or if you had a scare, we'll have this little questionnaire that you can fill out just to keep your tour manager up to date. We also have, again, smaller tours, which is very essential. Our tour managers are also being trained with new safety protocols. So that means sanitizing all of the coaches as well as our sedans for our specific sedan service. We're also offering face masks, so you don't have to bring. You can just bring one for the airport, and we'll be providing them throughout your tour. So, getting past all the COVID stuff, the one country that I see bouncing back quickly is our Shades of Ireland tour. Now, this is probably one of our top 3 tours. We really specialize in the 3 I's: Iceland, Italy, and Ireland. But this one in Canada seems to be the one that we feel that will pick up the quickest, just because of how they handle COVID. And our partnership with them has been very transparent with all the vendors on the ground over there. Now, this tour is a 9-day adventure starting in Dublin and ending in King's Court, as you can see on the map. So first thing we'll do on day 2 is have a beautiful tour of Dublin City, which is also called the Fair City. So you'll get a chance to visit the Guinness factory, to the Book of Kells and Trinity College. And you get a chance to really stay in a central hub for all types of Irish culture. So this includes, musicians, the local performances, and of course the pubs. And I know that's usually the comment that I get, so I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that. And so the first night you'll actually get a chance to witness some traditional Irish evenings. So that's for everything from the culinary options to the folk dancing as well for the regional cuisine. So we make sure that we set that up for all as like a welcome dinner on our first night. So on the day 3, you'll be get a chance to either do Dublin by coach or a walking tour of Dublin. So this is what I was speaking to earlier about having options on your tour. Now, the first choice, the Dublin by coach, you'll get a chance to be with a local guide and you'll see St. Patrick's Cathedral on O'Connell Street, the General Post Office, and the historic Phoenix Park. So again, we make sure that we visit these particular places off busy hours. So really the shoulder times to really get a chance for you to enjoy and take as many pictures as you want. And I'm not sure how many of you have Facebook, but there'll be a lot of content to share, especially the time that we're going. And choice 2 is the walking tour of Dublin. So you're getting a chance to really see the city center. So exploring St. Stephen's Greens or Grafton Street or River Liffey. And either way, this is the meeting place. We're meeting at Sheehan's pub, and this is one of our favorite and most highly rated local pubs in the city. So day 4, you'll get a chance to go to Kilkenny. So step back in time and begin your day, and you get a chance to see the River Nore. So this is more of like a medieval town, and it's a bit slower paced. And again, this is really famous for the medieval towns, which date back to 12th century. So a lot of the architecture is still the same. So if you're an architecture buff, this is definitely going to be the highlight of this particular tour. Here's another image of it in Waterford. So this is Waterford. This is Ireland's oldest city. So you could discover the city's rich Viking and Normandy history. So there's something that really gives you a chance to dive into. And I would probably say majority of our history buffs enjoyed this day 4 part of our tour, just because of how in-depth the knowledge is from our tour managers. Now you get a chance to either go to the Waterford Crystal Factory or the Medieval Museum. Now, I probably think majority of you will go to the Medieval Museum. This is something Danny and I were talking about, but this Crystal Factory has been highly rated as well. So those who actually wanted to get enjoyment out of it really can have that option to be creative on tour. So as you can see here, some images of your 2 options. Now, day 5, you get a chance to visit the historic Blarney Castle. And again, we get a chance to bring you earlier than the rest of the tours. Just in general, how we view it is a post-pandemic, a lot of the volume will essentially be cut in half or 3/4 in some destinations, just to maximize social distancing after this. Now, we don't know how long that's going to go on for, but we made sure that we secured a time, as opposed to, like the Viators or people who are walking in who will probably have a waiting time. So you won't have to wait or worry about purchasing tickets. All of that is built into the price, so you do not have to stress and worry about those small things on tour. And again, you will have the opportunity to kiss the famous Blarney Stone. I'm not sure if this is changing post-COVID, but I am still willing to do this just because I am very superstitious, but it's up to your discretion. And 2022, I'm pretty sure it'll go back to normal, but we don't know in later 2021, so we'll see. Now, again, for those of you who don't know, legend has it, those who kiss the stone are bestowed with the gift of eloquence. So I'm not sure if that's something that you're into, but many different myths surround the source of the stone. Really believe a witch that was saved from drowning revealed its powers. So I know this is a folk tale that a lot of the locals believe in, but it's really funny to see the guests' reactions when they're taking turns kissing the stone. But who knows post-COVID? I'll just leave it at that. Later, you get a chance to cross into the country Kerry and continue on to the charming Killarney. So this beautiful view will likely is likely what you will see. But again, just to give you a heads up, the weather there is very rainy and it's a little bit more eerie. So, this may be more like a 50-50 chance, but still a beautiful view nonetheless. So in Killarney, you'll get a chance to visit the national park. This is Ireland's first national park, so it's very picturesque views, things you'll see on your Windows desktop. That is how a lot of people will explain it. So it's a lot of steep mountains and rolling hills, and a lot of people are seeing the wildlife come back to Killarney just because of the lockdowns and the social distancing and the closures. It's brought a lot of wildlife back. So if you're one of the first tours that get a chance to go on this, you really get a chance to see the beauty and the wildlife, especially being on a boat during this particular time as well. So again, this is one of our best diner's choice. Tonight's meal will be chicken with potato stew, but there will be other options if you're not up to that, but that's making me pretty hungry right now. Definitely something that I may try to order on Uber Eats, so keep an eye out for that. On day 6, you'll travel along the glorious Ring of Kerry, where you'll find some of Ireland's most magical scenery. And to be honest, this was my favorite part of the tour when I was there, just because of, I believe it's just one of the bucket list items for a lot of people who want to travel to Ireland, whether they're staying in other parts like County Mayo, or they all make it a point to visit the Ring of Kerry. So this is something that has been untouched and hasn't been left with a bad carbon footprint. So meaning, over volume of passengers going and I guess stepping all over it and ruining the natural beauty of it. So that's something that you will want to see, just because you don't know what the future holds. We also go to the Gap of Dunlo. So here you can shop for traditional Irish goods. So handcrafted items that you could bring home as souvenirs. So the 5 lakes are located in the Gap, which is in this general area. So it's very interesting, and the tour managers has a lot of interesting stories at this destination. And this is something that's very, I would probably say one of the best things that I've had a chance to witness is the sheepdog demonstration. So you see border collies in action during a traditional sheepdog demonstration at a family-run farm. Now, this farm has been around for over 100 years and it's been passed down to generations. So you get a chance to get a glimpse of this true Irish heritage. And again, you get a free night to yourself. And this is what's great about our strategically located hotels, is that you'll get a chance to maximize a free night in the particular city that we're in. So we also get a chance on day 7 to go to the jaunting cart. So this is the start of your day with a jaunting cart ride. And this is through the Killarney National Park. So it's another great way to see the true beauty of the Killarney's National Park. So the jaunting car ride is probably one of the oldest horse-drawn carriages and probably the most popular form of transportation in Ireland. So you get to travel to Adair on the next day for some time of leisure. So you'll get about 4 to 5 hours to just walk around and, visit the unique looking houses and, the small shops that they have there. So this is essentially like their cottage country, and it gives you a chance to really see different craft shops and the different restaurants that they have and some local pubs that are located in this destination. So then you could get a chance to continue on to Limerick to embark on a panoramic city tour. Now, this is great for those who are into castles and who love to watch Game of Thrones and shows like Viking, because this King John's Castle is used on set for a lot of those kind of shows and movies. So again, this is King John's Castle, is 13th century history that was built as a military fortress. So they'll go into the deep history that lies between with this castle. This is the Treaty Stone, so you get a chance to visit the stone in Limerick. So this has been signed on the Treaty Stone since 1691. So under the treaty, the city surrendered to the army of the William of Orange. So really getting a chance to understand some of the history. So the next few days will be a dream for history buffs on this tour. Now, again, probably one of the biggest highlights on this tour is the Cliffs of Moher. So this is on day 8. Again, 700-foot high Cliffs of Moher. So for those who hate heights, you're probably going to want to proceed with caution, but there's no choice on this tour, so you need to go on it. But again, you'll get a chance to really see the beauty of this. These cliffs are over 350 million years old and stretch for about 5 to 6 miles. So be prepared for some beautiful views on this day, on day 8. You'll also get a chance to pass through the limestone landscape of Beren. So it's known for its stark beauty, and really get a chance to see why they call it the Rocky Place. So from what I understand, it's just mountains on mountains and different landscapes there. So it's interesting that they chose this image because it's so flat by the water. But yeah, you really get a chance to see the beauty here. Then you get a chance to continue on to Galway. So with a brief tour, it showcases the city of tribes. So between the 13th and the late 19th century, this was more of the political, commercial, and social life of the city. So it's really known as the tribes of Galway. And that's what the main focus is on this particular tour, is seeing how they live during this particular time. Then you get a chance to visit a distillery, where you'll make some amazing whiskey. And honestly, this whiskey tasting is probably one of the most detailed that I've ever seen. I got a chance to go on a few beer and whiskey tours, and where they get a chance to go is you're really seeing how things are made from start to finish. And you'll be able to get a chance to make your own whiskey as well. So, we'll really get an in-depth look on how creative your palate is, essentially. And from this point, you'll get a chance to visit the Cabra Castle. So this is dating back to the 1700s. So the rooms are outfitted to the highest standards with every comfort. So it's a very modern facility, but the rooms are they're trying to keep it as intact. And many people describe it as a time capsule because you can really feel the history when you're staying in those particular rooms. But the only thing that you need to look at is the modern facilities, but everything else is dated back to those 1700 times. Now, your journey comes to an end in King's Court, but you're getting a chance to tour Dublin and see all these particular destinations. So really get a chance to dive into this itinerary because there are extensions, but at the end of the tour, you'll get a chance to say goodbye to the passengers on a final evening, and then really get a chance to talk about your experiences that you had on this particular tour. Now, right now we're in this dream now, travel later mindset, and that's the mantra that Collette is using. So I really want to give you an in-depth look in a final video of what you can expect on the Shades of Ireland tour.
What is it like to be in Ireland, to hear ancient legends retold, to connect with friends both old and new, to explore, to raise a glass, to find endless fields of green, to brave the rocky shores, to find something you always knew was there. It's impossible to say what it is like to be in Ireland. You just have to go for yourself.
Now, on this tour, you can personalize your adventures. So we have elite airfare, dining experience, optional excursions, pre and post nights and tour extensions available. So connect with your local travel agent and really get a chance to, add to the experience that we currently have. We also have a loyalty program. So with $150 off your next tour, you get a chance to you can take it $100 off, but this is additional $100 off your CARP membership. So, if you are a CARP member, you already get $100 off. So you could actually attach this promotion to that as well. And if you want to reserve, just connect with Danny and he'll be able to essentially help you through this process. All right. Thank you everyone for listening, and I'll pass it back over to Danny.
Thank you very much, Andrew. This has been very eye-opening for me as well, because our experience so far has been in Northern Ireland. So we didn't see too much of what you have just shown us. So it's been great. I know that at the beginning of the presentation, I found it very interesting because a lot of the images that you used are places that we've been to, on different trips that we've taken over the last 17 years. So brought back a lot of memories there as well. I did want to ask you though, the special terms and conditions that you have that are in place right now, because COVID is very much a part of our lives. Are those likely, say, for instance, the smaller coach, sizes and that sort of thing, are they likely to stay the same, or as we work our way out of this COVID situation, are they likely to return to your regular size coaches?
Honestly, from a revenue perspective, I think there's nothing more than the company would like to have, like 100% capacity. But yes. The first thing that we preach is customer safety and passenger safety, and we want to make sure that we keep this intact. As long as the CDC has these guidelines up, we want to keep our passengers as safe as possible. So it really depends on when. I feel that, and this is something that I got a chance to talk to my head of sales about, we see it changing for different destinations. So those who have essentially conquered COVID, even though we don't know what's going to happen in the future, things are handling the pandemic better. They may increase the occupancy of the coaches, but those who are a little bit behind, because again, we feel that recovery is not going to be like, oh, snap of the fingers, there's a vaccine, everyone can go everywhere. Every country has their own way of handling the current situation. So, I think it'll be a slow progression, but small group touring is the way of the future. I think COVID just expedited that process, but I guess, with our classic tours, we'll return to full capacity, but our small coach tours, I can see us keeping it there longer. So hope that answers your question, right?
Yeah. Well, it's difficult to answer that because we don't know where this is going. And I totally agree with you. Even if they come out with a vaccine, it's going to take a while for that to become worldwide. So, so that's just something I guess we have to wait and see about. I just wanted to make a general comment. There's a large part of the Canadian population that has Irish roots, and this is an opportunity to delve into that bit of heritage, especially if you're able to add a pre or a post stay in your area of interest in this lovely country. And even if you don't have Irish roots, it's a great opportunity to familiarize yourself with the highlights of this ancient nation. So I definitely wanted to thank you, Andrew, for your time here. It's been great. You've given us a lot of information, and I also want to leave this presentation with a mention of next week's presentation, which is same time, Tuesday, November the 10th at 6:30 p.m. Atlantic time. We'll learn about Windstar Cruises, a cruise company that has several large cruise ship size sailing vessels. So you're actually under a canvas when you're sailing on these vessels. We'll have a look at a variety of itineraries that are offered by this small ship cruise company. So again, Andrew, thank you very much for your time and the information on this wonderful itinerary that Collette provides. And thank you all for attending.
Thank you for having me, everyone. Have a safe